Aloha, my name is Richard Dobear. I'm a Hawaii real estate broker with eXp Realty, living on the island of Maui. I've been in Hawaii for 15 years, working as a real estate agent during that time. Before moving to Hawaii, I was an engineer for 35 years. Those of you that have seen my previous videos will already understand that I have a love for data analysis, and that I make good use of Excel spreadsheets to generate charts and graphs that are relatively easy to understand. So I'm going to go through that today. We're going to look at the Maui market from a historical perspective, as well as the different price groups of the homes and condos that are being sold. So let me turn to my computer and let's get started here. Okay, so I have a chart here which I'm going to build on. Starts from the year 1994, goes up to the end of 2019. I just updated this last night before the new year arrived. And on the vertical scale, we have the number of sales for both homes and condos. There's no restriction on the type of home or condo. Could be fee simple, leasehold, arm's length transaction, or just a simply transfer to a relative. But most of them, I believe, are arm's length transactions, so it gives a good picture of the Maui market. Okay, so what we have here is those sales that were in the 0 to $250,000 price group. At one time, we had quite a few. Now it's tailed off. We have almost nothing. So if this line here is 500, this is what, maybe 100 or so last year in 2019. So that's really a negligible part of our market these days. Next up, we got 1/4 to 1/2 million in this color here, which I'm colorblind, by the way. I could be gray, it could be purple, it could be light blue, but I'm sure those of you watching can tell. In any case, that's a much bigger market share. Has been since this big dip here. So that's 250,000 to 500,000. It looks like we've had, 900 or so sales in that group in 2019. How about the next group up? Let's take a look at that. Okay, 500,000 to 750,000. We have this color, which I don't know, again, maybe that's purple. And one thing you notice here, let's look at these three. This one is obviously shrinking down to what's almost 0 now. This one is pretty much steady. If you look at the vertical distance here, you know, the width of this bar, it's pretty much steady. Whereas this one is definitely growing. See, here it was pretty small, and here it's much fatter. So the 1/4 to 3/4 market segment is definitely growing. What's going on after that? Let's look. Okay, 3/4 to 1 million. That's also growing a little bit as I look at this here, but it's a much smaller segment than the others. And you notice these serious dips here and a smaller one here. I'm going to talk about that before I finish here. Okay, next up, the 1 to 2 million range. Actually, that's a pretty good share as well. It's about the same as this one, maybe a little bit smaller. And then those that are over 2 million, that's actually a fair amount, but it is indeed smaller than any of the others. Well, except for this bottom one here, that's the smallest. And then over 2 million, not a whole lot of sales there, but still going on. So that's our trend since 1994. Let's talk about what these dips are all about. Let's see. First of all, I already talked about the fact that this is a growing share. This is a steady share of the market, and down here is a declining share. Okay, let's move on. This one, that was the 9/11 attack. You know, there was a little hiccup in our national economy after that, but it didn't last. It was just a little short-term dip. This one here is much bigger. Well, what was that? Oh, that was the Great Recession. Um, Back here, we still haven't reached these levels of sales. We're still below that over here. This was during the days of what we called officially stated income loans, where you didn't have to verify your income. And there was a mad frenzy in buying. People were buying for investment because prices were rising so rapidly. In addition to being called stated income loans on the street, sometimes those were called liar loans because people were not telling the truth. I didn't engage in any of that because to me that's bank fraud. That's a person can go to jail for that, although I don't know of anybody that did. But anyway, this was during the days of the so-called liar loans, and then we peaked here and we had the Great Recession, and wow, did that fall off. Look at that. And we've slowly started climbing out. Well, I shouldn't say slowly. We've made good progress in climbing out of that valley. I'm not sure what this little dip is. It's nothing serious. And we're continuing to rise. Interestingly enough, this point here would be the accumulation of everything that's sold. And you see that's a little less than it was here in 2018. So there was a slight dip in 2019 in the total number of sales, but I've not heard any discussion about that being an issue. I think it's just data goes up, data goes down a little bit, just natural fluctuations. I don't read anything major into that. Okay. Let's finish up this chart so it looks nice and pretty. Some disclaimers, copyright notice, and then my logos. So, again, my name is Richard Dobear. I'm with eXp Realty. I'll include my contact information at the end of this video. If you are interested in buying or selling a home either on the island of Maui or Kauai, I specialize in both, or perhaps you know somebody who is interested in buying and or selling, you're welcome to get in contact with me for assistance. Aloha and Happy New Year. Happy 2020.